Hi, everybody. It is November 1915, Western Front. This is the Central Powers did their attack. They did a 2-to-1 attack here and got both demoralized, so each side lost a unit. Right here, they had a 4-to-1 attack. The Central Powers did and got a defender eliminated. Destroyed the entire French garrison right there, and it took the city of Nancy. Took that one out. So they are now pushing I think the Western Front has just been smashed pretty good. Okay, and then down here they did a 2-to-1 attack on this unit here that was demoralized and got a defender demoralized and pushed him back more. And then they advanced over here. And then down here, they had their attack, 2-to-1 attack here, and then got a defender demoralized. Actually, both demoralized, so they lost. Austrians lost units, so did the French. They're still holding on to that city, so it's kind of a tough nut to crack right at the moment. And then the Austrians are taking one of the railroad units and they've moved it over here. They're moving it to this front so they can start extending their supply lines because it's looking like things may be needed for that. Over here on the Eastern Front, things have gotten a little different. They had a 1-to-1 attack here, got a bolt demoralized, so the Russians lost a unit and so did the Turks. Here they did a attack and got a defender exchange. The unit was right here. They had come up and had a 2-to-1, got a defender exchange. I think it was a 3-to-1. And so the Austrians lost a bunch of troops there. And then over here, the Germans did an attack on this point right here and got a defender demoralized, so the Russians lost units because if that or lose the supply line, so they're hanging on tight. And then here they had an attack that was a defender demoralized, so the Russians lost a unit there. So it's pretty much the Eastern Front is kind of grinding to a halt in a way. It's just slogging down, tearing up the Russians a bit. They can recoup their losses this next turn, but we'll see what happens there. And obviously on the Western Front, the Germans are smashing through the lines now. So the odds of this unit staying there, they might have to fall back to reconsolidate their lines a bit and see what happens, and that any replacements have to go down here to maintain this city without losing it. And then we'll see if they can nibble off some things over, back over here. But at the moment, it's not looking good for the French or the Russians. It's just a severe weight of forces just being brought to bear against them. All right, we'll come back and talk with you at the bottom of the turn. All right, everybody. It is November, Allied turn 1915, and disaster has struck on the Western Front. The French and British attacked here, where there was a massive stack of German troops making a major breakthrough and rolled a defender exchange. So they took the hex, but almost their entire strength was wiped out in the process of taking it. So I think that fell on the side not so great. The one thing that the French did not want is a defender exchange, so that didn't work in their favor at all. So they pulled out of the line here. They formed up a new line because the Central Powers supply lines end right about here. So they have to build a rail system up this way before they can start moving into southern France. So they decided to block this area off, and I think they'll probably maybe put some reinforcements in this city, and then hopefully the Central Powers, when they eventually do take that city, they'll take some bunch of troops with them. That's their best bet, I think, and then just write that city off. But they still have lost this city here, and so they lost 2 cities now in this game. So that makes their reinforcements down to 8. So they can only replace 2 units, so that's not so great for them. Now over here on the Eastern Front, the Russians did an attack right here with these units and got a defender demoralized, so the Turks fell back. They decided to get the heck out of Dodge. They can give up the territory. They really can't replace troops anymore, and then they just don't have enough strength even to get a 1-2 attack up there. So it's not in their favor to do so. And up there, the best they can get is a 1-2 odds, also 1 unit. So it's not something that's going to happen. As you can see all the dead up there. The Austrians lost a bunch of troops. So Turks have some dead. A lot of German troops. Piles. There's a little bit of dead British and a bunch of dead Frenchies. So we'll see what the weather does here. The weather on the front for in November, let's see here. We got clear and mud. It's clear as mud. So we have Western Front's clear, so the supply lines will go out 5, and then we got 4 on the, everybody's got a +1 movement on the Eastern Front. And November, okay, we need a 1, 2, no, we got a 3. So 3, so the Americans do not enter the war. They're probably looking at that going, yeah, well, I don't see us getting involved in any European conflict anytime soon. So we'll just have to see. So come next year, the odds get in their favor coming in, but who knows what it's going to look like by that time. All right, we'll be back.